Hello class, this is lesson 2-5 about solving equations involving absolute value. And if you remember, absolute value is the distance from 0. So when we are solving an equation, we're looking for the values that will give it the same distance away from 0. So for instance, if I have the equation absolute value of x is equal to 2, I want to know what numbers can I find that are going to be 2 units away from 0? Okay, that's really what I'm just asking myself. And so you can already think, well, one of those is positive 2. That's 2 units away from 0. But also, if I go in the reverse direction, negative 2 is 2 units away from 0. So I can actually split this up into x is equal to 2 and x is equal to negative 2. That would give me 2 solutions for this equation. So let's go ahead and use that information to solve the absolute value of y plus 2 is equal to 4. I can rewrite this as y plus 2 is equal to 4, and also y plus 2 is equal to negative 4. And now I have 2 equations to solve. I can subtract 2 on both sides, and I find y is equal to 2. And then when I do that with the second equation, I find that y could also be equal to negative 6. So for this example, I have 2 different solutions that if I plug them both into the equation, I would get 4 for my solution. Let's go ahead and do the second one, and let's split it up. F minus 5 is equal to 17, but also f minus 5 is equal to negative 17. I can add 5 to both sides of my equation, and I find that one solution, f is equal to 22. When I add 5 to both sides of the second equation, I find that f could also be equal to negative 12. So when I could plug both of those into the equation above, they would each give me 17. So now let's look at this next one. Absolute value of 3x minus 4 is equal to negative 1. Pay close attention here, because what this is really saying in words is that the distance is equal to negative 1? No, you cannot have a distance that is equal to negative 1, or really any negative number, right? We know that you cannot have a table that is negative 5 feet long. So here, since it is equal to a negative number, I'm going to say that there is no solution for this equation. For this last example right here, I have a value on the left that is outside of the absolute value symbols. So the first step you need to do is move those to the opposite side. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides of my equation, and then I'm left with the absolute value of 2x is equal to 8. Now that the absolute value is all alone, I can split this equation into 2 parts. 2x is equal to 8, and 2x is equal to negative 8. And now I can divide both sides by 2. One of my solutions is 4. When I divide the other by 2, I find my other solution is negative 4. All right? So that is another equation that you might see. Moving on to a word problem now, it says that your phone can hold an average of 2,000 songs, give or take 250 songs. Write and solve an equation involving absolute value to find the maximum and minimum number of songs that your phone can hold. Okay, so I'm just thinking about this in reality, that this is just really saying that the difference between the number that my songs can hold and 2,000, because that's kind of in the middle, is going to be give or take 250 songs, okay? So translating this now into an equation, difference between the number of songs and 2,000 is really the absolute value of x, which is my number of songs, minus 2,000. And that simply equals 250. So I've set up my equation, and now I can go ahead and split it up to solve. So x minus 2,000 equals 250, but also x minus 2,000 could equal negative 250. I'm going to add 2,000 to both sides to solve this first equation, and I find that x could equal 2,250 songs. When I add 2,000 to both sides of the second equation, I find that x could equal 1,750 songs. So what this is really telling me is that the possible number of songs that could fit on my phone could be between 1,750 songs and 2,250 songs. So it would be somewhere in between those two numbers. That's the minimum and the maximum number of songs. And that's it. The last concept that we're going to talk about now is how to write an absolute value equation when you're just given a graph. So here I see two values. One is at 17 and one is at 27. And I want to find out where is that middle point in between them. So the value that's in between both of those is 22, okay? Because my outside values are both 5 units away from 22. So the distance away from 22 could be described as x minus 22 is going to be equal to those 5 units. And that is it. Okay, so absolute value of x minus 22 equals 5. Let's do this again. I can go ahead and work backwards to figure out the middle value. So that looks like it's 15 is the value in between 11 and 19. So written as an equation, absolute value of x minus 15 is equal to 4 because they're both 4 units away from 15. And that's it. So to conclude, I have 2 problems for you to try on your own. One is an equation to solve and one is an equation to write. See you in class.